Recruiting season is ramping up for the Huskers, and Matt Rhule has made it a point of emphasis to lock down the state, to get the best talent from Omaha, Lincoln, and the rest of Nebraska. But not only that, he's found a lot of success recruiting the Midwest, getting 4- and 5-star talent from Kansas, Illinois, Minnesota, the Dakotas, and so on. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a Nebraska Midwest recruiting update. I'm going to talk about some of the best players the Huskers are going after in that 500-mile radius. And we're going to talk about their interest in the Huskers and do I think they commit to Nebraska. So really quick, make sure to smash that like button if you're getting fired up about Nebraska recruiting. I know I am. And hey, hit that subscribe button. I'm talking Huskers every single day on this channel, on the road to 4,000 subscribers. So if you could help me out, please hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's jump right into it, talking about Nebraska recruiting, specifically what they're doing in the Midwest. And like I talked about in my intro, Matt Rhule is going after states like Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Minnesota, the Dakotas, everywhere around Nebraska, trying to lock down the Midwest. And not only is he going after 4-star and 5-star players, but he's going after some under-the-radar guys who are really raw and being honestly under-recruited. So with that being said, let's get into the top players Nebraska is going after, starting off with the state of Missouri. Who is Nebraska going after in the Mizzou state? And honestly, talking about Missouri, this is probably the best state Nebraska wants to recruit inside the Midwest. Again, they have Kansas City, St. Louis, a lot of talented places, a lot of talented high schools, a lot of 4-star and 5-star players come out of this state, and Nebraska really trying to build their connections there. So let's get into the first player I think Nebraska might land, and they're going after hard, and this is Corey Sims. So another guy out of St. Louis, 4-star wideout, listed at 6'3", 210 pounds. And I talk about this all the time when it comes to wide receivers in Matt Rhule. He likes two things, height and speed. Not only is Corey Sims 6'3", but he runs a 4.4 as well. This guy's the real deal. And looking at his recruiting process, it's down to us, Missouri, the in-state school, Penn State, and Oklahoma for his talents. Again, he's been repping Nebraska a lot on social media, and what people don't know is that Corey Sims is actually a Husker legacy. His dad played for Nebraska basketball about 2 decades ago, so he's been on campus time and time again in his life. He's talked only good things about the coaching staff and Lincoln, so Corey Sims has that tight-knit connection with Nebraska, but they're really trying to seal the deal, and he's coming on a visit soon next week, so watch out for Corey Sims. And one thing that really made me smile when he was talking about Nebraska, again, he said that Matt Rhule makes him feel like a priority. You hear that all the time. TJ Lateef said the exact same thing when he committed to Nebraska. All these recruits say that. Matt Rhule knows what he's doing in terms of trying to land these players. So again, Missouri, man, this is a state that Nebraska is really trying to lock down. And, honorable mention, Jackson Cantwell, he's a 2026 product. We're not going to talk about 2026 just yet, but he's a 5-star guy, and Nebraska is really going after him hard. So, we'll talk about him more next offseason when his recruiting process really starts to ramp up. So, Missouri, Matt Rhule is working overtime trying to land these players. So let's take it to Kansas now. Who is Nebraska going after in Kansas? And, if you're not following Kansas recruiting, they are getting better at an exponential rate. This recruiting class in the state of Kansas, they have 2 5-star prospects. Not only that, but they have about 4 or 5 4-star prospects and a boatload of 3-stars. So Kansas, man, sneakily is becoming one of the better states in the country when it comes to, again, producing top-tier talent. We've already seen Nebraska land 1 commit from Kansas. That's Bryson Hayes. He runs a 4.2 speed. He's basically Tyreek Hill for Nebraska. But the guy who I think Nebraska has number 1 on their big board right now of a guy that they want to land is Dawson Merrit. This guy is borderline a 5-star prospect, one of the best edge rushers in the country, and it's really down to us or Alabama to try to land his talents. I'm sure we're going to get an answer by the end of June, probably mid-June, on where he commits. I really like Nebraska's odds as of right now. I'd probably put him about 65, even 70%. And Dawson Merrit, man, he's the real deal of a prospect. He's just a true pass rusher, really athletically gifted. He's listed at 6'3", about 215, 220 pounds. Probably needs to put a little bit more weight on, but man, he has a high motor. He's super fast, super quick. His dad is actually the secondary coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, so he has that killer mindset. He's trying to make it to the league. Dawson Merrit, man, he's very interested in Nebraska. I think Nebraska will end up landing him. So I love Dawson Merrit as a prospect, dude. This guy is the real deal. He has a great work ethic, has a very high ceiling. He's a do-it-all guy. One thing I want to mention about Dawson Merrit is that Nebraska, they're recruiting him very hard. They sent him an edit the other day, basically with him and Dylan Raiola in the same picture. And I think it was, be a game changer was their little slogan on top of that, or it might have been do something different. But Nebraska is really trying to feed into the narrative that, if you team up with Dylan Raiola, you can change the narrative in Nebraska. You can do something different. You can turn this program around. And I think recruits are really gravitating towards that. So, again, watch out for Dawson Merrit. And you know what? We're going to go up north. In our next state, we're going to take it to North Dakota, actually, and talk about the number one prospect out of that state, and that is Cade Piertaz. He plays offensive line and defensive line, 4-star prospect, and Nebraska's recruiting him at D-line and watching him on film. I mean, this guy is just an absolute mauler. You can put him at D-end, you could put him at D-tackle. I'd expect him to play either or for Nebraska, and he is just going to run through you time and time again on his film. He was making bull rush after bull rush, getting to the quarterback. He just thrives trying to make a play, make a tackle. In Nebraska, really trying to get his talents. It's down to us, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, or Kansas State. We're in his top 4. I'd expect, again, either us or what looks like Oklahoma to try to get him. They're probably the 2 biggest favorites there. But, again, I love this guy. I think he's a great prospect. Nebraska's had a lot of success recently in North Dakota and South Dakota. Cade really, and he checks all the boxes. He's a very smart kid. He plays multiple sports. He's everything you look for in a prospect. And that's why Nebraska and Matt Rhule is going after him so hard. So, another prospect there, talking about that D-line. Again, offensive line, defensive line, Nebraska's needed. Got to figure that out in order to be successful going forward. Matt Rhule understands that in the Midwest, man. They got a lot of talented players. So, again, those are my 4 guys that Nebraska, they're really going after hard right now. Again, Kansas, Missouri, and then North Dakota. Now, Nebraska's also been going after guys in states like Minnesota, Illinois, Colorado. They already got a guy from Colorado, Tanner Turk. So, again, all the surrounding states, Nebraska's trying to lock down, not just Nebraska. But the common theme that you're seeing from Matt Rhule is he's trying to get the best talent anywhere. Not just the Midwest, but he's going East Coast, West Coast. He'll go wherever. He'll go over to Asia if needed to get, a 4-star player. I mean, obviously not really. But, this guy, Matt Rhule, he's different. He's taking recruiting to a different level for Nebraska. That's why I'm getting fired up, and you should get fired up too. So, again, let me know down in the comment section below, which prospect are you most excited about for Nebraska to land? And, hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.